Is Kamala Harris surging in the polls, or is this just fake news? Should Americans trust the legacy media that has lied to them over and over again? There is plenty of evidence to suggest that American news is no longer trustful, and here's the breakdown. As far back as 2021, President Biden was seen falling up the stars to Air Force One. Fast forward to 2024, and American news media was gaslighting the public into thinking Biden was still fit to be president and run for a second term.
He might misplace a word here and there, but you talk to him for hours at a time. Is he slower? Does he move slower? Yeah, he's moved slower. Is he stiffer? Yeah, he moves stiffer. Does he have trouble walking sometimes? Yeah, so did FDR. I've said it for years now. He's cogent. But I undersold him when I said he was cogent. He's far beyond cogent. In fact, I think he's better than he's ever been. Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever. Not a close second. And I've known him for years. The Brzezinskis have known him for 50 years. If it weren't the truth, I wouldn't say it.
Trump and Biden agreed to the earliest debate in American history, which was June 27th, 2024. President Biden did such a bad job, he ended up dropping out of the presidential race a few weeks later.
I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look.
Anderson, this was a game-changing debate in the sense that right now, as we speak, there is a deep, a wide, and a very aggressive panic in the Democratic Party. It started minutes into the debate, and it continues right now. It involves party strategists, it involves elected officials, it involves fundraisers. And they're having conversations about the president's performance, which they think was dismal, which they think will hurt other people down the party in the ticket, and they're having conversations about what they should do about it.
So I've decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation. It's the best way to unite our nation. You know, there is a time and a place for long years of experience in public life. There's also a time and a place for new voices, fresh voices, yes, younger voices. And that time and place is now.
Vice President Kamala Harris will most likely be the next Democrat nominee for the 2024 presidential race, and the American news media is trying to act like she's the next Barack Obama, even though there is no evidence to suggest she can win. The first major red flag is her packed arena, which appears to be a high school gymnasium. This is not an arena. Unlike Kamala Harris's pathetic high school gymnasium, or who knows, a middle school gymnasium, former President Trump filled an entire arena that is an actual arena. American news media then went on to act like Kamala Harris wasn't responsible for the border, even though she was appointed to be the border czar. American news media was so bold, they broke the dystopian 1984 barrier and tried to eliminate history like communist dictator Joseph Stalin. The patriots of America stopped the dystopian future and exposed the fact that Kamala Harris was the border czar. American news media's weapon against its own citizens failed.
I've asked her, the VP today, because she's the most qualified person to do it, to lead our efforts with Mexico and the Northern Triangle and the countries that help. We're going to need help in stemming the movement of so many folks stemming the migration to our southern border.
Well, thank you, Mr. President, and for having the confidence in me. And there's no question that this is a challenging situation. As the President has said, there are many factors that lead President to leave these countries. And while we are clear that people should not come to the border now, we also understand that we will enforce the law, and that we also, because we can chew gum and walk at the same time, must address the root causes.
Quote unquote border czar. Vice President, Harris was not a border czar.
Meantime, Vice President and border czar Kamala Harris facing some backlash.
What he said about Harris and immigration was not true. She was never appointed border czar.
And this will be her first visit to the U.S.-Mexico border region since she was appointed as the border czar by President Biden.
People gonna have to counter the misinformation. You already hear folks talking about the border czar. She wasn't the border czar.
President Biden tapped Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, to be the border czar.
Now, she wasn't the border czar. That's what Republicans labeled her.
They were very critical of Kamala Harris, especially in her role as border czar.
Now what she's up against is folks lying about her border record, calling her a border czar.
Kamala Harris, who was appointed as the border czar.
The Biden team didn't declare her the border czar. They wanted her to work on kind of the root causes of immigration.
There has been so much criticism against Kamala Harris. You know, she was the border czar.
Calling her sort of the border czar, which wasn't necessarily the case.
So the border, if they weren't planning to address it in a major way, do not make her your border czar. She met with some of the Northern Triangle countries, but nothing has effectively changed.
Kamala Harris then scripted a phone call with Obama to act like it was organic, and people made fun of it.
Kamala!
Hello. Hi.
Hey there.
Oh, hi, you're both together. Oh, it's good to hear you both.
I can't have this phone call without saying to my girl Kamala, I am proud of you. This is going to be historic.
We called to say Michelle and I couldn't be prouder to endorse you and to do everything we can to get you through this election and into the Oval Office.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. Let me know when to start. Now? Hi, Michelle and Barack. Do it again? Okay. Well, look who it is. It's Big Mike and Barack. Crap. All right. Take 49. Oh, thank you so much. And, you know, your endorsement means so much to me. Even though I didn't have it the first time.
Reporters asked Kamala Harris if she would work with the GOP on the border issue, and her response was horrible. Harry Harris danced around the question like a lopsided fat person trying to defy gravity.
Even the GOP leader?
I am meeting with a lot of folks, and the work that we have begun is the work that is going to be ongoing. There is no question, and I said this from the very beginning, that our approach to this issue has to be with a commitment to a long-term investment, and it has to be a commitment to consistency. The United States has to be consistent. There were times when we were more engaged and we saw good results. Less engaged, and we can see where the work and the partnerships then deteriorate. So I am committed to ensuring that we engage in an active way on the root causes, on addressing the cause and effect, and also being partners in the Western Hemisphere, understanding that we have a responsibility, and if we ignore that responsibility, it will visit itself upon us in a very domestic way.
Last but not least, political expert Styx Hexenhammer 666 pointed out that Harris's last name isn't even famous enough for the presidency. As you can see, we always have to say Kamala Harris. We can't just say Kamala or just Harris. We have to say Kamala Harris, or you won't know who we are referring to.
All right, everyone. We start off talking today about the differences between Trump and Kamala Harris. Number one, you can just say Trump and everyone knows who you're talking about, but if you say Harris, you have to add her first name. That's point number one. It's completely irrelevant. It's just something that I've noticed, actually. Even in the legacy media, the references frame is a little bit different. What we're being told by the legacy media, which is immediately wagon circled around Kamala, and she'll clearly be nominated. There are some people that are predicting she won't be nominee. She's already clinched the delegates. She's got the backing of the Clintons and the Obamas. The party has chosen who their nominee is going to be.
I'm going to end this newscast with a funny report. Barbie unveils first blind doll and black doll with Down syndrome